Hi, guys. Welcome to Bible Breakdown. We are doing Psalm chapter 71. This psalm is titled God's Help in Old Age. So I have three different points to point out for this chapter. Just to start out for verses 1 to 8, I wrote that it shows the trust that we should have in the Lord as life goes on and no matter what age we are at. So in verse 3, it says, "Be a rock of refuge for me where I can always go. Give the command to save me, for you are my rock and my fortress." And then verse 6, it says, "I have leaned on you from birth. You took me from my mother's womb. My praise is always about you." So the main thing that I got from those two verses is God is our foundation and he's our rock, and he's really the only thing that we need in this life. Then to continue for verses 9 to 16, I wrote that it reminds me of like the saying when people say, "When I am weak, he is strong." And I also said, when it feels like we don't have much to give anymore, remember that God is your shelter and your rescue. So this section is really highlighting like the old age factor of this chapter, because it's talking about God's help in old age. And the main request here is for God to just like not abandon them in old age. So in verse 9, it says, "Don't discard me in my old age as my strength fails. Do not abandon me." So I feel like the fear here is thinking because you're old and like you're not as strong as you used to be, you're thinking that like God's strength won't cover you as much, but that's really not true. And that leads me to my last point, for verses 17 to 24. I wrote that God is a God that does not change. The promises that he made when we were young or even before we were born still holds true for eternity. And for that, we should sing his praises at all times. And this last section just really highlights like there's nobody that compares to God, and God will forever protect you from anything that's trying to harm you. And that is the end of chapter 71. I will be back for chapter 72 right after this. So I love y'all. God loves y'all more. Have a great day.